I think, from the day of birth. And he's a wonderful example to young people across our city. Peter Stockdale, please come and receive your award from Mayor Watson.
Woo, Peter!
I'd also like to present to Peter this proclamation from my office, International Day of Peace, September 21st, 2011. Whereas the issue of peace embraces the deepest hopes of all peoples and remains humanity's guiding inspiration. And whereas in 1981 the United Nations proclaimed that the International Day of Peace be devoted to commemorating and strengthening the ideals of peace both within and among all nations and peoples, entendu que la Journée internationale de la paix entraîne la vision adoptée par notre ville qui se veut pacifique, suivant notre propre chemin vers la paix et qui mérite ainsi reconnaissance et célébration. And whereas peace, safety, and security require fostering, support, cooperation amongst individuals, organizations, and nations engaged in building peace at both the domestic and international levels, therefore, I, Jim Watson, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, do hereby proclaim September 21st, 2011 as the International Day of Peace in Ottawa. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian, and thank you, Jim. I'm here to say thank you for this award. It was a wonderful surprise and probably undeserved. I'm here to say that a candle only burns if there is oxygen and fuel to sustain it. In the same way, a man can only be as great as the people who surround him. And I'm here to say that I deserve this award only because the people around me have worked hard to build our common dreams. One common dream has been City of Peace Ottawa, and I want to thank Anita and Joe especially for keeping this true to the vision, and Benita for building it up. So I want you to stand up. Thank you. I want you to stay standing, because I also want to thank Hans Sim and Tito Medina, who's already standing right there at the back. And I want to thank, I'm going to give you a serious hat here, so I want Canadian Department of Peace folks to stand over here. Come on, get up. Civilian Peace Canada. Where are you? Behind. Yep, Hans, come on, Hans, up we go. And I want, okay, National Capital Peace Council, Suleiman, where are you? You were here earlier? All right, okay. And I want Kimberly, Abby, and Morgan to stand as well. Come on. Thank you. And I want to thank Nick Cease and Nadia Nasri from my community to stand. And Fairley and Heslington to stand. Come on. Kids. Come on, kids. Up you go, kids. I'm here. All right, now you're all getting up. Thank you. Thanks for coming, kids. I'm here to tell you that these Friends for Peace are making the flame of peace burn brighter. All right. Thank you. Thanks. All right. Bill and I have received this award because we've created and sustained the Ottawa Peace Centre for 5 years. But it's also just for persevering for peace and community. Look at Bill's work for the Department of Peace and Non-Killing. Fantastic. For myself, Peter's paw prints are on Turtlehead Trails in my neighborhood, in Fairley off Heslington, and on our new playground. Kids, shout out, Heslington. I want to hear your voices. All right. My paw prints are also on the Riverbank Cleanup with Daniel Stringer, the Department of Peace Initiative, the Canadian Conflict Prevention Working Group, the Peace Council, the Poets Pathway, the Path of Peace, Peace Professionals. Are you beginning to perceive a pattern? I can only think that us all together might earn me an award, or maybe it's just getting That was something, wasn't it? At City of Peace, we foster Ottawa as a model for peace. We know that every path of peace, Peace Park, Peace Studies Program, conflict resolution, every mediation, Mr. Tannis, the City of Peace grows stronger. We hear that peace is motherly, so somehow meaningless or easy. Motherhood, like peace, is something worthwhile. I want to hear from mothers out there. Is it easy? No. City of Peace Ottawa brings folks out to walk the path of peace. We celebrate the International Day of Peace to remind ourselves that peace is worthwhile and not easily achieved. And we walk past the Human Rights Monument visited by Nelson Mandela and the Dalai Lama. We know that their path to peace has not been easy, and neither has Ottawa's or Canada's, but we've achieved a lot. I have to talk about how Ottawa is not a city of peace, so we know what we have to focus on to make it a better place for all of us. First of all, we walk from Minto Park, which commemorates the murder by men of women. I think we have to recognize that Aboriginal, French Canadian, Black, Muslim, and women from conservative families face death disproportionately, and we have to do something about it. If we are to build a city of peace, I think we have to face it that elements of our police force are beyond the control of the chief and the civil power. This is not new, and now we've all seen the videos. The selection of Chief White was an effort to square the circle, because he's a tough guy and a man who also sees the future of policing. However, all the force are unwilling to follow his lead. That must change for Ottawa to be a city of peace. I've seen vitally needed resources and green space found for the well-to-do elsewhere, but not in my neighborhood. In just 1 year, I have seen new horrors. A serial killing, a stabbing, and shots fired at police in my neighborhood. And not a lot of interest from City Hall. I think that Jim Watson and Diane Deans want to deal with these horrors and inequalities where I live and elsewhere. And I hope so, because if we want to have a city of peace, we'll have to address it. I've heard my children report that the parents of their Arab friends tell them not to play with white Canadians because they are ruthless. I have had to prevent European parents from nailing pig heads on the doors of Muslims. I've heard enough insults thrown at Somalis within my earshot to make the KKK blush. We have a whole lot of work to be done to make diversity work in our neighborhood. We tend to think that if we focus on conflict in Ottawa, we have to focus on battles between tinted ethnic groups. But that is not the prime conflict, not why Ottawa is paralyzed. There's a deep alienation here and elsewhere between those who are richer and whiter, those who feel safer being separated from other people by being in the country, the suburbs, in their own churches, their own synagogues, their own mosques, and cultural Baptistanis, and those who are poorer, less white, and embrace being together with others. We must bridge this divide to make Ottawa a city of peace that works. John Donne said, "No man is an island, entire himself 400 years ago. In the global village, this is an impossibility. No suburb, country thicket, or community wall will keep the other out. In the current age, we live in an eternal circle, a circle of all nations, as grandfather William taught us, facing each other around a common flame, a common future, a common destiny. Let it be a common flame of peace, a flame that does not burn us, a flame that warms all our souls."
Thank you, Peter. I wonder if we could get a photograph of our 4 award recipients. They're all here with Mayor Watson. Thank you, Mayor Watson, for taking time out from your busy schedule to
Good
be
stuff.
here today. We've honored our president.